and we're going to start with a vendor-specific story around Oracle and Palantir joining forces. Two interesting companies. Obviously, one has been a dominant IT force for a long time, and Palantir has stayed the course, moving from startup to established tech company. So, Charlie, what did you think about these two companies? Definitely outliers in the IT world joining forces.
Well, I'm not sure if I can call Oracle an outlier, but certainly they've been playing catch up in the cloud space. I think this was interesting, sort of, insofar as what it continues to show is there's this realignment and there's this continued jostling for position. I think what was interesting is whether you believe it or not. I mean, this was the quote by Oracle, as in they're talking about this particular partnership, and it says Oracle is the only hyperscaler capable of delivering its entire AI and cloud suite to any business or government anywhere in the world. And this was Rand Waldman, one of the vice presidents at Oracle, talking about, let's see, we continued by combining the performance, scalability, and flexibility of Oracle Cloud infrastructure with Palantir's leading data and AI platforms. We will help our customers win in any industry or environment. And what is interesting is they're obviously talking here about trying to focus on these very specific targeted use cases that have higher security requirements, or perhaps they need air-gapped environments, those sorts of things, or maybe they need specific geolocations because of regulatory issues. And I think it shows that there's this ongoing evolution. I'm not sure I'm buying the statement that
Mhm.
it's truly the only that AWS or Google or Microsoft can't do this, but it does speak to sort of the focus that they're trying to cherry pick this space. And I think that speaks probably more to the relative challenge they've had in being competitive than anything else, but still noteworthy and still interesting.
Yes, this press release with Oracle and Palantir really looked like it was trying to have the best of both worlds. Of course, Oracle has for a long time been a trusted partner for governments. They've worked in the most sensitive environments, including military and defense. One where Palantir has also worked, and I think they're trying to combine that message of being able to air gap the most sensitive workloads while also being able to provide support for large language models, generative AI, all the buzzwords that we talk about on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's part of where they are claiming that they can provide every cloud service in every type of environment, because they obviously work with many extremely sensitive environments that are very bespoke in nature. For instance, if you're working with something like the U.S. Army, they do not have standard enterprise standards the way that your average company does.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a win for Oracle, and
Mhm.
and I think it's also be clear about something is, despite their competitive nature, they don't actually need to win
True.
insofar as, right. I think what they need to get over the hump, and I think this is yet another sign that they're getting over this hump, is to be simply viable,
Mhm.
to not be a company when we're talking about cloud services that someone goes, oh no, why would you ever do that? That's, these are the big three, we only go with those three. And I've been hearing this certainly from CIOs that they have such an investment with Oracle that they have put Oracle Cloud on their short list. And let's remember, the other thing is that I also haven't talked to very many CIOs, I won't say none, but very few CIOs recently that have a single cloud strategy, right? Everyone is multi-cloud, not in the way I think we used to talk about it, of this idea of workloads, rapidly traversing clouds and what have you, but they have different use cases and they are working with different cloud providers for those specific use cases. And I think this is a good step, like I said, a win for Oracle in particular, to say, hey, for these, heavily regulated or these specific use cases, that we're a very viable option, and that gives them a way to hang their hat on it. So, I don't think they need to win big to win, and I think this is an example of that.
Yes, Oracle continues to chip away, and frankly, actually operate very wisely in its environment, trying to figure out how do we make ourselves a top 3 cloud? Where do we find the use cases and support companies in ways that Amazon, Microsoft, and Google have not successfully done to this point? They are picking and choosing very specific use cases and then tactically picking them off one by one to edge their way in, which is exactly what they should be doing and has made Oracle an actual player in the cloud infrastructure space in the way that 5 years ago we would not have said that Oracle was relevant.
I will also, one little comment before we move on, because I think we want to touch on some other security
Yes.
related aspects. But one of the things I think it does point to is the rapid commoditization of the cloud space, where it is getting harder and harder. I mean, this probably wouldn't have been anything highly differentiated, a few years ago, meaning like that we would really hang your hat on. But because things are becoming so commoditized that it doesn't take, it's like any foothold you can get onto. And again, I think that actually that bodes well for Oracle, because again, they just have to be at that point of viability. And I think there's the other aspect of it, and this has always been sort of Oracle's bread and butter, and that is that sticky factor, right? We love to talk about cloud services that they are because they're so abstracted that you can just simply pick them up and move them. But that really isn't true. There is a huge sticky factor that if you can get somebody to get their workload onto your platform, onto your environment, there has to be a really strong reason to move it off. I mean, it is not as simple as it seems. And so, if they can pick up those wins and those use cases, then the odds are they're going to keep that business. And so it's, I think it's a smart move for them. But I also think it speaks to the evolution of the kind of hierarchy here, where the game is going to get played above this level. So we'll see.
Yes, Oracle has always done a great job of providing necessary services to enterprise customers and then providing the value proposition to make you stay while raising the prices just enough to make you uncomfortable. But I think that's part of running a great business, quite frankly. Oracle has run a fantastic business over the years, and you don't have to worry about them going out of business because they will price their products and
That is
services
true.
accordingly, appropriately to stay in business.
Certainly one way of looking at it.
Yes.
So